Heidi and you're watching HeidiKMakeup. I have been really loving anti-hauls and what's new in beauty and like will I buys kind of thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know a lot of what's new. I've kind of sequestered myself off from a lot of the advertising that is associated with beauty because then I just find myself really tempted. So some of the things that I want to talk about today are things that might have been around for a really long time, and honestly, I don't know if they're new or not, but I wanted to talk about some stuff that may be on my wish list, some stuff that I'm really not interested in. And yeah, so let's just get started. The first thing that I want to talk about is a couple things from Stila. The Stila Metal Matte palette or something like that. I was looking at it and I think that I'm going to go ahead and pass on it. You know, I said a lot that I don't really want to grow my eyeshadow collection this year, and then I completely did the opposite of that. I've bought 2 palettes since I said that. One of them is from Stila and I actually really like it. It's, where are you? It's very similar to the Metal Matte one. It's one of their Eyes Are the Window one. This is the Mind one with all the matte shades, which I love and I think is a perfect companion piece to my collection because I don't have a lot of matte shades, and I feel like this is something that I could just pull into any look where I don't feel like I have enough matte shades to make a complete look with a palette. I really do like this. But the Metal Matte palette or whatever they're calling it, it doesn't really appeal to me. It doesn't seem like anything special, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip it. There's also a couple of things by Anastasia that I've been kind of on the fence about. Let's take a look at what's going on there. Their lip palette. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I really hate lip palettes. In fact, when there's lip palettes with shadow, I just almost never use those products. I want a proper lipstick, one that I can put in my pocket and reapply throughout the day. I also really haven't found their liquid glosses or liquid lipsticks to be very appealing to me. I think I just don't like liquid lipstick, and I'm, you know, whatever, it's a trend, and if people like it, that's fine, but I'll be happy when it goes away. The Modern Renaissance palette has been somewhat calling my name, and I know that's not exactly new. It's been around for a little bit, but I really love my Anastasia Self-Made palette, which is in fact discontinued, but these shadows are wonderful. They're some of my favorite shadows that I own, and it's very appealing to me to get some more Anastasia shadows. But right now, my mind is solely focused on Makeup Geek because I did pick up a couple of things from Makeup Geek. Finally, after years of wanting to try Makeup Geek, I have finally picked some up, and I'm like, holy cow, why didn't I do this sooner? And I know why I didn't do this sooner. We'll get into Makeup Geek in a minute. But the Modern Renaissance palette is kind of calling my name. And I think it's part of their permanent line now, so it might be something that I might pick up for myself for Christmas or something like that. I tend to avoid things that are overhyped because I'm always concerned when they're overhyped that they're not worth it. That's the only thing that is somewhat calling my name from Anastasia right now. I'm not interested in their stick foundation at all, although I do need a new foundation, just because I've heard really bad things about it. And speaking of foundations, the Wet n Wild foundation, I've considered purchasing it. I've heard that it's really dewy, which is something that I really love in a foundation. But it hasn't been available when I've been at the store, and then last time I was at the drugstore I saw it was available, and I thought about buying it because I actually shattered my favorite foundation, and so I've been really struggling with my Milani foundation, which I hate right now. I figured out a way to make it work, kind of mixing it with some moisturizer, but I'm not a fan of it. And so I was thinking about getting the Wet n Wild one, but ultimately all the reviews I have heard have said that it smells awful, like paint, and that doesn't sound appealing to me. I'd almost rather work with the foundation that I have and kind of finish it, and in the meantime save up so that I can get a nicer foundation. There's some that are really tempting to me. I really want to try the Juice Beauty Serum Foundation. I'm considering some Stila ones. But ultimately, I think I'll probably end up with the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation again because it's just my holy grail, dewy, moisturizing foundation that I love on my dry skin. And this time I hope that I will get the right shade because that was my biggest struggle. Also, I want to talk about Stila for just a sec. I kind of all over the place with this video, but I haven't really thought through exactly what I'm going to say. The Magnificent Metals Glitters. Let's see, where is one? So I included this in a haul, the rose gold one. And you guys, it's really good. Despite the fact that it's glittery, which, you know, normally isn't my jam because, oh gosh, I love rose gold. Normally isn't my jam because it falls out. This doesn't fall out and it's just so pretty. And I really, really, really like it. I'm tempted to go back and buy all of them because sometimes I get like Pokemon syndrome and I gotta catch them all on things. I also kind of don't want to because I did that with the Josie Maran ones, the liquid eyeshadows that they had, which I actually think I liked a little bit better than these because they were shimmer. This is more glittery, but I do like these. And then they dried out. So I kind of want to wait a little bit before I buy more because I want to make sure that this packaging is such that I'm not going to not be able to finish up the product. But that Kitten Karma, that is very, very tempting. Going back, there was one thing that I haven't included in a haul, but I talked about on kind of like my wish list sort of thing, and it is the Butter London Glaze and Eye Gloss in Oil Slick. And this is cool. It's really cool. It's like Jello. Let's see if we can, whoa. Do you see how that's kind of like gooey? It's kind of like Jello, and it's like one of those shades that is kind of like a brown red undertone and then reflects gold and green. So like if you sheer it out, it's really kind of this bronzy sort of shade, but then if you build it up, oh, hold on, I'm struggling here. If you build it up, you'll get more of a greenish blue reflex, kind of comparable to Max Club is the one that everyone compares it to, but a lot of brands have shades like this, where it's Makeup Geek Havoc, I think, and Too Faced Label 4 are supposed to be comparable, but this is like a completely different consistency. So I went out and bought it because it was something that I really wanted, and they have other shades, and I was like, if I really like this, I think I'm gonna pick up the other shades. And I've been playing with it for a while. I should probably do a review, but honestly, I think I'm gonna return it. And I really don't like returning makeup because I feel like it's wasteful. On one hand, if I'm not gonna use it, I'd like my money back, and I'd like to be able to use that money for other stuff. Like there's something else I want to buy with the money I spent on this. But I also know that it's going to end up in the trash because they can't resell this, and that feels a little wasteful because it's kind of a cool product. But the reality is when I use this as a shadow base, the reflectiveness kind of disappears. When I use this over top of shadow, it creases. And I never have problems with creasing. I have very dry skin, and so if a shadow creases, that says a lot to me. I haven't worn it a lot on its own, and it does seem like the kind of shade that would be really good on its own, but I haven't because I've been working on my Pan That palette. But what I was doing is I was putting the red eyeshadow down, the amaretto, and then popping this over the top, and in the morning it looks beautiful, and by the end of the day it takes away the amaretto. It just makes the whole thing look funky. So it makes me want to return this because I'd rather spend this money on the Pur eye polishes. Those look very, very tempting to me, and Pur is now considered a Logical Harmony certified cruelty-free brand. I thought they were cruelty-free for a long time, but I really like to buy things that are on the Logical Harmony list because I find that to be the most reliable. So there's a part of me that's like, I only have so much money to spend, and this is so difficult to work with. I can't see myself wanting to pan this in the future. Maybe I should return it and get one of those eye glosses. Speaking of Pur, I saw Lauren Mae Beauty did a video like this, which is what made me want to do this. I will link hers down below. She was talking in it about their palettes, the Pur palettes. I haven't really looked into Pur for a really long time because they weren't, you know, Logical Harmony certified cruelty-free, which is my favorite list to go by. But then I went on their website and was like, I want to see all this. Some of their skincare stuff really, really tempts me. But I kind of agree with Lauren on this. Their shadow palettes, and maybe it's just that I don't feel inclined to be getting eyeshadow. Well, I say that, but I don't really mean it because I do get a lot of eyeshadow right now. I've been ordering way more than I should. That's another problem, but that's a whole nother video. But their palettes just don't look particularly tempting to me. I don't know. They have the Gold Digger palette and the Dream Chaser palette. It's a weird setup. I don't understand. So that's not something that's particularly tempting to me, but that Skin Perfecting Foundation brush, I'm interested. I'm very intrigued. It will be hard to top my Beauty Blender or my Real Techniques brush. I kind of go back and forth between those, but I'm very tempted by that brush. And then also their foundation. The Bare It All 12-Hour 4-in-1 Skin Perfecting Foundation is another foundation that I'm considering. And ultimately it's about, do I want to go with the foundation that I know I love and repurchase the Josie Maran one, or do I want to try something else? And I almost always end up going with something else, but I do like the Josie Maran one, and I think it would be nice to try one in my proper shade because I never had one in my proper shade. So those are kind of some of the things that I'm thinking about. This is my first Better London product, and I don't think I'll be trying any more from them. And then I have a couple things from Makeup Geek. I have an order on the way, which is why I haven't filmed my haul, which will include this, although I might return this today, so I'll talk about it, but I won't necessarily have it for the haul. I did order a couple of things from Makeup Geek, finally, and oh my gosh, it is so good. I love it. I don't particularly like single eyeshadows. I have this whole empty Z palette that I never ever use because I don't like singles. I find palettes to be a little bit user-friendly. Someone else has gone to the trouble of picking what shades I need to put in this, and they're more budget-friendly too. I don't think Makeup Geek is an affordable, I mean, it's affordable. I don't think of it as a drugstore brand. I think of Makeup Geek, and I always have thought of it as a high-end brand, because when you think about it, yes, singles from, say, Urban Decay or Anastasia or MAC used to be, I think MAC changed their prices, are more expensive than Makeup Geek singles. But most of those come with packaging. So you have to factor in that when you're doing Makeup Geek, you're also buying the Z palette or whatever it is that you're gonna put it in. The reason Makeup Geek is affordable is because you're paying for the packaging. And so ultimately, like this Stila palette that I just got, I got on sale for $29, and it came with 12 eyeshadows in it. Even to full price, I think it's something like $40 to $50 for 12 eyeshadows, whereas this Makeup Geek palette, which I'll talk about when I do my haul, this, you know, was one of the kits, so I didn't have to pick out each shade, which I do appreciate about it, and I do like the packaging on this. For all purposes, this is basically a palette, except it doesn't have the little plastic piece. But these are $6 a piece, and then you have to pay for the palette. Now, if you buy the bundles, you get a little bit of a discount. So I think I got this on sale. I think it was $45 or $49 for all of this, including the palette and the shadows. But that's 9 shadows as opposed to 12, which I got for $29, and Stila is a high-end brand. So, but these are so good. And when I got them, I immediately went back on the site and ordered a bunch of more singles and was like, well, I've got an empty Z palette. I might as well fill it because, you know, Pokemon, gotta catch them all. Makeup Geek is not new, and the shadows that I got are not new, but they are new to me, and I really, really, really am intrigued by them, and want to try more Makeup Geek. I was very impressed. I'm not buying from Too Faced right now anyways, because I don't support brands that are owned by parent companies that test, at least not right now, although I'm trying to figure out how I feel about Kat Von D, which is a whole nother conversation. But even if I was, I'm really not at all intrigued by what Too Faced has going on right now. You know, it just seems like really gimmicky. Everyone I know is not pleased with what they have. So, you know, even if I was buying from them. I don't think that I would be interested in like literally anything that they've got going on. I think my next big purchases are probably going to be more from Makeup Geek, and I think maybe some of those pure eye polishes. Those are the things that are really calling my name, which just aren't particularly new to me. My baby's crawling around, causing a ruckus. Anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys. What are some things that are kind of calling your name? Like I said, not all of this is new. It's just kind of new to me because it's stuff that I haven't really thought about before. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day when we're filming this. Check out her little dress. And I got my little St. Patrick's Day tank top, and it's kind of showing up a little funky on camera, but I'm wearing green eyeshadow today. I'm taking a break from my Pan That palette, which is great because I'm not enjoying it this month as much as I enjoyed it last month. Anyways, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will talk to you all very soon. Thanks for watching.